Unit 4 Study Guide, question number 5. This is a continuation of the first section. You're to decide if this is a proportional relationship or not. To be a proportional relationship, all of your ratios, all of your rates need to be equivalent. You put the dependent over the independent. Time is normally the independent variable, so put it on the bottom. So in this case, your first ratio is that you can go 12 feet in 8 seconds. You want to know what is that in 1 second. How far would this go in 1 second? That would be the unit rate. To do that, you're going to divide the denominator by 8. 8 divided by 8 would give me 1. The numerator, divide it by 8 to find out how many feet it would travel in 1 second. So, do the long division. 12 divided by 8. Put a decimal point because you're dividing by a whole number. The decimal point will go straight up. You can tack on a 0. 8 or 2. 8 would go into 12 one whole time. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract, you get 4. Bring down your 0. You do not worry about bringing down the decimal point. You moved it straight up. That's where it is in the answer. So you don't have to worry about it in your work. 8 would go into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract, you get 0. That's our answer. We don't have to worry about bringing down that last 0. It is 1 5/10 feet per second. Okay, so that is our first rate. Our second rate is 27 feet in 18 seconds, which again, you're wanting to know what is that in 1 second. The unit rate would be how far would it travel in 1 second. So I'm going to have to write small here. You have to divide by 18. Do the same thing to the top. Divide it by 18. 18 divided by 18 gives me the 1 second that I want in my denominator. Again, I'm going to have to go to long division. It's 27 being divided by 18. The number you're dividing by, the divisor, goes on the outside of the division sign. The decimal point on 27 would be at the end of it. You can tack on a 0. You're dividing by a whole number, so the decimal point goes straight up. That's where it is in the answer. And divide. 18 goes into 27 once. Subtract. Be careful of your borrowing. 8 you have to borrow from the 2. It becomes a 1. That makes this 7 into a 17. 8 from 17 is 9. 1 from 1 is 0. Bring down your 0 and do it again. 18 goes into 90. Exactly 5 times. 5 times 18. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry a 4. 5 times 1 is 5 plus the 4. 90. Subtract. You get 0. So this is also 1.5 feet per second. And then the last one, you have to do all 3, because if one of them is off, then it is not proportional. So 39 feet in 26 seconds. To make this 1 second, you have to divide by 26. Do the same to the top. Divide it by 26. So 39 being divided by 26. Again, having to go to long division. Put the decimal point, tack on a 0 or 2. Doesn't really matter how many you tack on. You're dividing by a whole number, so the decimal point goes straight up. That's where it is in the answer. 26 goes into 39 once. 2, 6, subtract. 6 from 9 is 3. 2 from 1 is 1. Bring down your 0. 26 goes into 130. exactly 5 times again. 5 times 6 is 30, carry a 3. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 3 is 13. Subtract, you've got nothing left over. Your rate is, again, 1.5 feet per second. The unit rates are all the same, so this is a proportional relationship. I would point out to you, you could also go to fractions. You could do this as saying it's 12 over 8. This is the way you were, the shortcut you were shown in 6th grade. Divide by 8, but instead of going to a decimal, say that this is 1 second, write this as a fraction, 12 over 8, and then reduce it. Divide both of those by 4. Okay, not the normal way I would show my work, but it works. In 1 second, you're going to go 3 over 2, or 3/2 of a foot, 1 1/2 feet per second. Try that with the second one. It is 27 over 18. You're going to divide by 18, and you're going to get 27/18 over 1 second. And both of these are divisible by 9, and you are going to get, again, 3 over 2, 3/2 of a foot per second, or again, 1 1/2 feet per second. And then lastly, 39 over 26, divide both of these by 26, and you're going to get 39/26 over 1 second. May not recognize it, but both of these are divisible by 13. Divide both of these by 13, and in 1 second, you again get 3 over 2. 39 divided by 13 is 3. 26 divided by 13 is 2. So again, it is 3/2 feet, 3 over 2, 3/2 feet per second, 1 1/2 feet per second. All three of those are equivalent, so therefore this is proportional. Number 6. Okay, again, you have to figure out the unit rate for each one. This one is, we're going to have to definitely go to fractions, so we probably will want to do fractions here, even though it might look like it would be easy to do decimals. So this first one, you want to, again, time is normally the independent variable, so it should go on the bottom. So that is 2 1/3 hours in the denominator, 1 1/2 miles in the numerator, and you want to figure out what this is in 1 hour. Okay, to deal with fractions, we'd better make these into improper fractions. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1. This is 7/2, 7 over 2 hours. And this one, 2 times 1 is 2. Add it to the top. This is 3 over 2, 3/2 of a mile. And again, you want this to be for 1 hour. So to make this become 1, you're going to divide by 7/2. Do the same to the top, divide by 7/2. 3/2 divided by 7/2. I'm going to go over to the side here and do it. 3/2 divided by 7/2 is going to be 3/2 times the reciprocal, because you don't really divide fractions, or you do copy dot flip 2/7, reduce before you multiply. 2 and 2 can both be divided by 2, so they become 1s. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 7 is 7. So this is 3/7 of a mile in 1 hour. Check out the second one. Again, time is on the bottom. 6 miles in 12 hours. You want to know how far is this in 1 hour. So you are going to divide by 12. Instead of going to a decimal, go ahead and go to a fraction. 12 divided by 12 gives me 1 hour. This one, 6 divided by 12, you can just write it as a fraction. That is 6/12 of an hour. Now reduce. Those can both be divided by 6. And you come up with that this is 1/2. Sorry, that should have said mile here. So this is 1/2 of a mile in 1 hour. Alright, just for the heck of it, we can go ahead and check out the third rate. That is 7 miles in 14 hours. So again, you're going to divide by the denominator, divide by 14, and you are going to get 7/14 of a mile in 1 hour. And reduce that. Those can both be divided by 7, and you are going to get 1/2 of a mile in 1 hour. And the issue is all 3 of these rates have to be the same. 2 of them are alike, but that first one is 3/7 instead of 1/2. This is not proportional. All 3 have to be